course, it ended up being just a traditional radio stunt. Like I said, it was. That radio station flipped to an alternative format. So I knew that's what it was. I was just curious why it got so much traction. I don't know. Who cares? Speaking of Canada, there is an artist I've never heard of, but I'm not really in her loop. Her name is Lindsay L., I think is her name. And she was doing the Fox and Friends show. I'm sure they thought that they had a pretty good booking over there at Fox and Friends. They're like, hey, we got this cute blonde country pop singer, and she's Canadian, but let's expose. They do like the Today Show used to do these outdoor concerts. I don't know if they still do, but it's kind of what the Fox and Friends thing was. And I'm sure they thought they had a pretty good booking in this girl.
We've been doing this all morning long, here to perform her latest single, Right on Time, country singer, pop superstar, Lindsay L.
Yeah.
Lindsay.
Take it away. Thank you so much, Fox and Friends. This song goes out to every single woman fighting for their rights right now. I love you guys so much.
Oh, no. I'm surprised they didn't cut to commercial. What? Fighting for their rights? So congratulations to whoever that is.
She's cute. She's had a couple hits.
Lindsay L? Mm-hmm. Okay. I read it the wrong. I thought her name was Lindsay Eli. I thought it was E-L-I, but it must be E-L-L. E-L-L.
Can we rank our top Canadians?
Can we rank our top Canadian? Oh,
Yeah,
she's like mid-30s. I thought she was like a kid or something. Okay.
She's not a kid. She just hasn't like exploded on the country music scene, really.
Okay.
She's got a couple hits.
Yeah, we can rank our top Canadians.
I mean, there's some big ones. There's
Bacon.
Jim Carrey.
Oh.
There's Shania Twain.
Uh-huh.
Mike Myers.
Celine Dion.
Poundcake likes Celine Dion, yeah.
Colin from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Norm Macdonald.
Colin Mockery is Canadian?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
He's great.
I like him.
I would go with Wayne Gretzky.
He's Canadian, huh?
I would go... who's your favorite Canadian that people forget are Canadian?
Justin
Seth Rogen?
Bieber.
Ryan
Drake?
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is Canadian. He's from Regina. Who else?
Drake, yeah.
Avril Lavigne, she's back in there. She's doing our music festival, I think.
The Weeknd.
Is he Canadian?
The Weeknd's Canadian. They're all from Toronto.
Isn't the Drake Canadian too?
Yeah,
they're Tristan Thompson. That's why he's got so many anchor babies here in America.
he's laying it down. He got in just in time too.
Yeah, no. The Weeknd, Shawn Mendes, obviously.
I don't know who that is.
These are all pop stars.
I know the names, but you pick them out.
But who's the apex Canadian? Bryan Adams?
William Shatner.
No, Justin Bieber.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I said Justin Bieber.
You did say Justin Bieber, but I wouldn't think of him as the top Canadian.
He is.
He can't even work half of his face. How is he going to represent?
Or
Nevertheless,
a disease
I
or
didn't say
something.
anything. It's not true.
If he's not the apex, I think about who has come from Canada and made the most money for America. That's either Celine Dion or Justin Bieber.
I can't believe you'd overlook Tim Horton, Poundcake.
Oh, Timmy Hose.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Samantha Bee?
What about maple syrup?
I don't care for her early work.
Really?
I think it was derivative. I think
well, yeah,
that
it's a
was,
derivative of sap, but...
Yeah. Neil Young.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's, I don't know if he's still going to do Rockin' in the Free World, but... okay, so The Weeknd, the Drake. Hate the Drake.
Figure out the
Dan Aykroyd? The Canadian? All those guys,
yeah.
right?
A lot of
Martin
those
Short,
John
Eugene
Candy,
Levy,
right?
John Candy.
Oh, Eugene Levy.
All the great Canadians. His
son.
brother-in-law used to work with
Dan
us
Levy.
here.
Dan Levy.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love him.
Yeah, I used to forget Shania Twain until she came out with that whole Trump thing, saying that if she's not an American citizen, but if she was, she would have voted for Trump, and all the gays got on her.
Shania Twain said that?
Yeah.
Why did they get all mad?
Because they're like,
Why were they surprised?
That she's a Trump supporter. She has a big gay following.
So what? There are gay Republicans.
That's on the gays. That's not on her.
Yeah.
But
Why would they assume that we like you? Why aren't you doing what we want?
Agreed. I'm just telling you how. I mean, she's mainly, I think her fan base is mainly liberals, But it came out of left
I
field.
think her
There's
fan
no
base-
country artist who has a primarily liberal fan base.
But I think she has a
But
very
she's
wide
poppy
fan
more
base.
than country now.
But I think her fan
nevertheless.
base crosses both pretty equally.
But the thing is, it just kind of came out of left field because she's like, everyone was saying, well, you are Canadian. You don't have to vote. Why would you even come out and say this? They were like, why are you putting your support for a guy that you can't even vote for? So shut up.
Well,
That's what they were saying.
but she was probably trying to open herself up to a new audience.
No, but to your point, that audience already knows who she is.
Yeah. She's already got her audience.
Right.
And it's, yeah.
Lorne Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
How about Alexander Graham Bell? Now, sure, he was Scottish, but he invented the telephone while living in Canada. Do you think that
don't think that
without
counts.
it doesn't
I
count?
don't think it makes you
It
Canadian.
it doesn't count for him to be a famous Canadian. He did something in Canada.
So we're talking about people born in Canada.
That would make you a Canadian, yes.
If you live in New York for 10 years, you can call yourself a New Yorker. People tell me all the time I should refer to myself as an Ohioan. I never will, but I've lived here for a dozen years.
Why not?
I'm from Illinois.
Because he's not from here.
But he has lived here for a dozen years.
Yeah. But according to
time.
Mary, I can't call myself
As an
Ohio-
adult, where have you
I
lived the
cannot-
longest?
I cannot, according to Mary, I cannot call
no,
according
not
to the fish
according to
detective,
Mary.
I cannot call, according to all you guys, I cannot call myself an Ohioan because I wasn't born here.
No,
No,
one
I
said
said,
that.
you said, are we talking about people born in Canada?
And
I
you said
that,
yes.
Yeah, that's what Canadians, unless they are naturalized or they become
Right.
citizens there.
So by that logic, I can't call myself an Ohioan.
Technically, sure.
Yeah, that's that's what we're talking
You
about.
can't-
Don't come
so
at
you're
me.
Virginian?
What's
Oh,
that?
yeah, you weren't born in Illinois.
I'm
You were
a
born in
Virginian.
yeah.
Like the
so
old
claim Chicago then.
like the old Western, the Virginian.
So you can't claim Chicago either then.
I don't claim Chicago.
You're not a
Chicago
Chicagoan.
claims me. The Virginian, the men from Shiloh. So no to Alexander Graham Bell.
No.
Okay.
Is Shia LaBeouf Canadian?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Shia the Beef.
The top Canadian.
Justin Trudeau. Poundcake has a big boner for him.
he has a. Never mind.
He has a what?
I was saying a juicy booty. Like he has a girl butt.
He's always wearing a suit.
He wears a really tight pants. He's
Really?
he's a hired gun. Like he's there. He doesn't really do any legislation. He's there to look good and make Canada look good. Like look at our representation. We have a gorgeous prime minister who is not very much liked for his policies or his personality. He just looks good.
Huh.
He has a very sketchy past, actually.
What about Chad Kroger?
Oh.
The guy who made it the grocery stores?
I don't know if he did that, but he started a band called Nickelback. A very popular band.
Like that
Aren't the
band.
Bare Naked Ladies Canadian?
They are?
Yeah, there you go.
It's been
Best part of that song is the end.
I still think whoever makes the most money as a Canadian in America is the apex
Is the
Canadian.
Apex Canadian?
And that
well, who
is-
would that be? Are you sure it's Justin Bieber? Jim Carrey's made a lot of money.
I look at the net worths.
Not more than Justin Bieber.
Celine Dion's worth $1 billion, so she would be the apex.
Okay, then, yeah.
It's Celine Dion. And she's
I will agree.
international.
I will give it to Celine Dion.
Celine Dion, and then after that, I think it's Justin Bieber.
Now, wait
so
a minute.
he's the male.
What about Pitbull? He's Mr. Worldwide.
He's Miami.
But he's Mr.
But
Worldwide.
he's worldwide, is what we're trying to say.
But he came from
You say,
305.
you say that Celine Dion is international.
From Canada, though.
Pitbull is worldwide.
What about Michael Bublé? He sold a lot of records.
Ooh.
Nope. Still
What
not
about
apex.
Brian Adams? He's sold
Yeah,
a
he's
lot of
sold-
records.
I
Not more than
mentioned him.
Celine Dion, though.
All right.
Celine Dion is just... She tops
What about the
everybody.
band Moist?
Nice, yeah.
They're Canadian. What about Alanis Morris? She's Canadian. What about Leonard Cohen? Celine Dion does top this list that I'm looking at of the most successful Canadian artists. Shania Twain and Michael Bublé are 2 and 3.
Really?
Sarah McLachlan, she made all that money off those dying dog commercials, right? Good for her.
I can't believe... Shawn Mendes ain't on that list? Wow.
Well, I'm not going to go through 150 of them, but I don't see his name here.
Yeah, Shania Twain's worth $400 million.
There you go. That's what makes her feel like a woman.
I didn't know she was worth that much. I mean, I knew she was worth a lot of money, but I didn't know she was worth.
So big in the 90s and early 2000s, man. She was huge.
I mean, she could go and do a tour right now and sell out.
Yeah.
She
stadiums.
did. She
Yeah.
did not too long ago, but she had her residency and she's been there ever since.
What about Biff Naked? Anybody remember
What?
Biff Naked? For the hot minute that Biff Naked was a big deal? In the early aughts?
Jules from Canada, right? Or I'm sorry, from Alaska, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow, people actually are from Alaska.
Oh God, we have friends where the wife and this couple friends, their daughter goes to school with our daughter, and she's lived all over the place. She's lived in Michigan. She grew up in Alaska.
But your
part of her
life is completely different from the rest of the continental U.S. Like,
yeah, you're out there.
Like there's no.
They're in Alaska right now. She's like, we just had dinner with them. She's like, yeah, we're going to Alaska for a week, for 10 days or whatever.
Your upbringing, like your way of life is so much different. Like you're used to 30 days of night. Like, yep, this is just when the sun goes away. Like what? For how long?
But to some degree, it's probably a lot more peaceful too. It's probably something that, people.
Well, it is.
I think people who live in Alaska aren't looking to leave Alaska.
There's a lot of drug problems. There's a lot of STD problems. There's a lot of.
But there's no gang violence.
There. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but those are just problems that are everywhere.
But not as bad.
I was gonna say, what is the day?
I've never been. I mean,
what's the day in the life for the average Alaskan? Like what?
Same like it is here.
No, it's not.
What do you mean?
Well, like what do you
You've
do
never
to get
been there.
let's send him, and we'll find out. He'll give us daily dispatches from Juneau.
I actually just sent an email yesterday to a comedy club in Alaska, so I might be going back next year. Cody, you can come with me
I would that would be a trip of a lifetime. I would go with you.
to Anchorage.
Is that the biggest city or is Juneau, Alaska? bigger?
Juneau's the
Capital. Yeah.
And the entire population is bigger than Texas, but the population is smaller than Rhode Island. It has less than 500,000 people.
It's all wilderness up there, man. It's crazy.
That's scary. I don't want to be
Beautiful.
that remote though, because people.
So do you want to go or not?
But you still have a life. There's still cities, major metropolitan areas where people live and go to work and
But
do
what
the
I'm
same
saying
things
is,
they do here.
couple, yeah.
there's more people in Northeast Ohio than the entire state of Alaska. That is scary. Now, it's something I want to experience, but I could never live there.
Okay, but yes, you could. Like Fairbanks and Anchorage and Juneau, those are all cities just like Cleveland.
But even if they weren't, you could live anywhere, Poundcake. I have faith in you.
You're
I
not
don't
gonna,
think you could.
You're not going to have to live on a
think you
frozen
could.
lake and ice fish for your food every day. That's not what it is being in Alaska.
Yeah, it's not Seward's Folly. I mean, it's still the 21st century in Alaska. It's just a very, very big area of land.
I wonder what the gay clubs are like there.
The
Well-
former capital of Alaska, which is a town called Sitka, is the largest U.S. city by area.
Cool.
It's huge. And it's probably got like 15,000 people in it. 8,400 people in this city.
Dude.
There you go.
Oberlin has more people than that.
Well, you lived in Oberlin. You could easily live in Alaska. Why not? Let's send him up there. Let's get him, unbeknownst to him. Let's get him a job. I mean, if nothing else, they'll pay you to live there.
They will.
And we'll get him a job at K-Whale or something.
Sure.
One of my old program directors started off at K-Whale. And we'll, get him up there, if that's even still a radio station. You want to go up and work there, Poundcake? You want me to set you up at K-Whale? It's Alaska's rock. It's in Anchorage.
I'll try.
Yeah.
Sure.
What if we could get him a gig there?
It's really pretty. Like you're in the mountains and they're all like
Oh,
glacial.
I have
It's
no
gorgeous.
doubt it's pretty. But just the fact that it's just so remote, like I feel like you have to drive everywhere or like far to do anything.
It's a city like any other.
You could be on Alaska.
You
This is
can tell him that as many times as you want. He
doesn't
will not.
understand.
He will
he
not.
can't grasp the fact that there's cities there.
K-Whale's morning show is called Alaska's Morning Show.
Hell yeah.
You could be on
Oh,
that
Alaska.
with Bob and Brock. You could be on that station.
Hey, Bob.
Why
Hey,
not?
Brock.
Poundcake is not a curious person when it comes to... He doesn't have wanderlust, right? Some people are like... He always talks about how he wants to leave and he doesn't want to stay here or whatever. There's no evidence to support that theory. But some people are kind of possessed of this desire. Like, I love my family. But when it was time to go, I was ready to go and never look back. And not everybody's like that.
Yeah.
He's not like that. So, Alaska, he can't even fathom that. I think most people can't fathom going out to Alaska, but especially him. He can't fathom going to live in Alaska.
I'm just
packing your crap and going to live in a place where you know no one.
Could be cool.
Yeah, I think
you could marry an Inuit man. You could ingratiate yourself into the indigenous culture there. You could be like a man called horse.
You could fight a bear. However you want to take that.
You can do that here.
Yeah. You could fight a bear right here in Cleveland.
There's moose.
Yeah.
Those things are huge, man.
Yes, of course.
You don't think about how big those animals are. Like, giant. They say
That's why you're supposed to give them a wide berth. That's why like 4 people have been gored by bison just this week.
Well, that's the rule.
In Yellowstone, like, I'm going to take a picture. Some old lady just got gored by a bison because she couldn't stand and not walk up to it.
By the teats?
She didn't get gored by the teats. No, I think it got her in the arms a couple of times. And by the way, I'm going to need clarification on what constitutes a goring. Because when they go, somebody got gored, I always think of like somebody who gets killed in a bullfight, right?
Yeah, they're like flipped over.
Yeah, they get it right through the
wounds.
guts.
Yeah.
Wounds that will not heal. I don't know if a goring is just like when a bison's horn pierces your skin or something.
Yeah.
Because they go, none of these people are seriously hurt. They're all going to live. I'm like, I want a goring to be fatal.
Well,
It
might take out a chunk of their leg or something. You could
Maybe.
live from that.
If it's like the land equivalent of a shark attack, you know, some girl in Florida lost a leg. A shark bit her goddamn leg off. You know, where they're like, somebody got gored at Yellowstone.
Well, they wanted to do a sequel to Soul Surfer.
Kate Bosworth. Or no, what's the...
I don't know.
Thinking of something else.
The rule with the moose, they told us this in Alaska, is that if you extend your arm and put your thumb up and you close one eye, and if the moose is bigger than your thumb, you're too close to it.
Oh, really?
Really, that's the rule. So you put your thumb out,
If your
extend
thumb
arm.
obscures the moose, you're okay.
So in the distance, if the moose is smaller than your thumb, you're
Yep.
fine. But if the moose is bigger than your thumb,
Yep.
you got to move because those things are quick and
do
they're large.
they have a catchy way to remember that? Like if the thumb's away, your balls are okay. Anything like
Maybe,
that?
yeah.
They should come up with something like that.
they're quick and they're large.
They are, dude. Those things are fast.
Yeah.
And they're huge. You don't like their antlers are like as big as it's 10 feet wide. It's insane. It's insane how big these
I've
animals
never
are.
seen a moose in person. What's the difference
And
between
you
a moose?
never will because you won't go to Alaska like we told you to go.
What's the difference between a moose and a what?
An elk?
And it's a totally different animal.
They're 2 different animals.
The way
know.
they
Elk are
sound.
also big. They're just not as big as
Not
a
I didn't know
big.
if they were related. I didn't
And
know
their
if it was a
antlers
cousin.
aren't as big either. They sound different.
Actually, a moose is an elk, I think. This says a
No.
moose. A moose or elk is what this says.
They're
Is
different animals.
It's the same species, I'm sorry. Different
Okay, that's what
animals,
I'm saying.
same species, yeah. But we got to get him out doing something. I know you're going to Vegas. I get it. Like that is something because you and your mom and your brother are going.
Yeah, I'm excited. She can't stop talking about it.
Oh, I know. We had her on the show talking about it.
Mom, nobody wants to see that cop. We'll get the tickets.
Yep, that was it. And she requested that I sit next to her on the plane. She doesn't want anybody else sitting next to her.
Now, why is that?
I don't know.
His calming effect.
I don't know. Maybe because I've flown the most out of out of everybody that we're going with, I've probably flown the most.
Does she think that you are in control of the plane?
No, I think it's good to have an emotional support human if you have one.
Man, imagine being in a situation where you turn to Poundcake for support.
Or to calm you. That's what I mean.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but I imagine that he has a very different dynamic with his mom than he does with us. I mean, it is his mom, so maybe he is. Maybe he's very calming with his mom. His mom is like, she sounds like she's on edge all the time, too. So compared to him, because she's got responsibilities, you know what I mean? Like, she's a nurse, and she works 3rd shift, and she's sleeping in the daytime, and that doesn't mess anybody up. This guy, he got nothing. He's working and going home and doing whatever. Nobody else is dependent on him.
Fair.
You're not dependent on her either, or she's not dependent on you.
We
but I
depend
wonder
on
if
each other.
There you go. Tom Green, Kids in the Hall, Michael J. Fox, Tommy Chong, people forget is Canadian. Strangely enough. People are just throwing names at me. Pamela Anderson.
Oh, we forgot. I forgot she was
But
Canadian.
the Apex Canuck, Celine Dion.
Yeah, Celine Dion. Donald and Kiefer Sutherland.
My Aunt Tracy.
Your Aunt Tracy. Her Aunt Tracy is an Apex something, but
She's a Canadian.
Poundcake can take Alaska Airlines' new direct service from Cleveland to Seattle and then get to Alaska from there.
Hey.
Airplanes are the roads up there. You can't exactly drive to too many places in Alaska. Do you like being on a plane a lot? Because you'll be on a plane a lot.
I don't mind.
Those puddle jumpers up there?
Oh, I've never been on one of those planes. That probably would scare me. But also, I've never been on a interstate flight. Like
That's not true. Do you know what an interstate flight is?
No, no,
It's a flight that goes between states, Cody.
I'm talking.
He's never flown from Detroit to Chicago for the 10 minutes that you're in the air.
I'm sorry. I don't mean it like that. I mean I've never flown from one end of the state to another.
An intra-state flight.
State.
I don't think anybody in here has.
You've never flown from the west side of Ohio to the east side of Ohio?
Well, you can fly from Los Angeles to San Francisco. You can fly from one part of Texas to north part of Texas. So Alaska, I assume you will be flying from one end to the other.
Yeah, that's a very big state, yeah.
And I bet you do that probably in Florida too. Miami to like Tallahassee is probably like an hour flight.
Well, anyway, it's certainly something to consider. I've got to take a break. If you want to get yourself tickets for Apocalyptica, they do their cello thing, a little rock and roll in there. You can go see them at the House of Blues. They're going to play a show September the 18th. So those are right after the break. And then 4:30, next chance for you, second to last of the week, by the way. To get yourself $1,000, you can go fuel yourself on the way. 35192 to text for anything else, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show.